Hello and welcome to Simply Melissa. Hello everyone and thank you for tuning into my channel, Simply Melissa. Today I want to come to you and talk to you about something a little bit serious. This morning I woke up and happened to check my Twitter and my Instagram and my Facebook, and I was like, whoa, what is going on? And my Fox News update was blinking. Oh my gosh. So Jared Fogle has been arrested and has went to court, and they have found out so much stuff that is involving him in this whole debacle with these children. You know, I have to give you a little bit of backstory on Jared Fogle because some of you may not know who he is and what he represents, and to understand how surprised I am about what's going on. Jared Fogle, back in 1999, was overweight, and then he decided to try a different type of dieting of his own, make up his own thing, and so he would walk from his college or from his home over to Subway and eat lunch and dinner every day. And he did that until he dropped all of the weight. Now, I am going to applaud him on that because that takes dedication. In 2000, Subway, as well as, Men's Health magazine picked him up first. And then a college did a article on him as well. Subway said, you know what? Let's jump on him and use him in our marketing strategy, which worked because so many of us, like myself, had battled with weight issues, up and down. And to see a familiar face or someone that is normal on the face for Subway, which was great instead of seeing a celebrity or an athlete. In 2004, Jared turned around and made the foundation, Jared's Foundation, which was a nonprofit organization helping children eat healthy, have adults in the school systems get educated onto getting them active, getting the kids healthy, and that is just great. Okay. He also got married to a pediatric nurse during that time. They ended up getting divorced though. And then he remarried his now wife in 2009. Okay. So all of that shenanigan was going on, getting good, and life was handy dandy. His net worth right now is $15 million. $15 million. So with all that being said, let's bring in July. So back in July of 2015, I know a lot of you may have heard that, Jared's Foundation, he had a man running it, and the man that was running was Russell Taylor. Now, most people want to believe that he was actually like over here and Jared was over here, and they really didn't talk as much. They just talked about business and that was it. Well, after everything has been said and done and the investigation has been concluded, Jared and Mr. Taylor have had more than enough time together. Okay. So what happened is in July, Mr. Taylor's computers and files and everything were seized because of child pornography. And you have to be looking at a lot of child pornography for it to be seized. And because he was connected to Jared, they went ahead and seized Jared's things as well, because they said they felt like he may have had a little bit of stuff on his computer. They need to figure out what it was linked to. They didn't give out any information. At that time, I, as many people were, said, you know what, it could be Jared, not with child pornography. Are you? No, he has a foundation that helps children. Well, it's always the one you don't want it to be. So, let me give you the info on what is happening today. Fox News reports And this one was bling, 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 bling. Okay, let's say longtime Subway pitchman Jared Fogle capitalized on his business trips to New York City to arrange sexual encounters with minors in luxury hotels. Federal prosecutors said in charging the Indiana man in a case that also documented his acceptance of child pornography from close associates. You know who I'm talking about. Fogle agreed Wednesday to plead guilty to allegations that he paid for sex with girls as young as 16. Now you have a $15 million net worth. Think on that. Prosecutors allege Fogle knew the pornography he received had been secretly produced by the former director of his charitable foundation, which sought to raise awareness about childhood obesity, and arranged for Fogle to visit schools and urge children to adopt healthy eating and exercise habits. Now you see how I feel about this one. You've been going to schools, going to be with all these children, and you looking at child pornography, so that means you out here scouting these children, and these parents and everybody think that you so high and mighty and you doing all this good stuff, and you just secretly doing bad things. Assistant U.S. Attorney Stephen DeBroda said Fogle used his trips to New York on behalf of both Subway and his Jared Foundation to seek out child prostitutes for sex. Wow, so you already know that Subway is trying to back away from him so far. They kicked him to the curb in July. Okay, when everybody was like, no, they shouldn't have kicked him to the curb. They should have stood behind him. No, they kicked him to the curb in July. Now, the court document detailing the charges against Fogle states that he paid for sex in New York City hotels with two girls under the age of 18, one of whom was 17. The plea agreement refers to the two as being 16 and says that one of them also had sex with Fogle after she turned 17. So he's a repeat offender. Authorities also said Fogle offered to pay adult prostitutes a finder's fee if they could connect him with minors for sex acts, including some as young as 14 and 15. Now let me just put this out here. Mr. Fogle is married to a woman, has 2 children. Now you know, on Wednesday, yesterday, she filed for divorce. I would be hightailing it out of there too. She is probably beyond sickened, because I am totally just sickened. Now you're going to adult prostitutes asking for little children. Just gross. The agreement released by prosecutors said Fogle will pay $1.4 million in restitution to 14 minor victims who will each receive $100,000. He will also be required to register as a sex offender and undergo treatment for a sexual disorder. The government agreed not to seek a sentence of more than 12 and a half years in prison. And Fogle agreed not to ask for less than 5 years, according to court documents. Okay, y'all. The government decided he don't need no more than 12 and a half years. And then he said that he wouldn't ask for less than 5. He and his little business partner need to go under the jail and be there until the jail crumbles. That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. I had 3 children. I could not fathom how those parents feel of the children that are actually not out in the streets of New York, runaways that's got scooped up by bad people and put into prostitution. That's one type of child. But the children that he's scouting when he goes to his foundation situations, where he goes to the schools and things, those children, the children that he has to pay $100,000 to, baby, you could not pay me enough not to sit like a fly on the wall for each one of those parents to kick his behind. I am not playing. This is just horrible. Horrible. And there's a good group of us that were sitting there in July like, it can't be Jared. No, not Jared. No. You know, it's a sad day and age when more and more people think the more money they have, the more they can hide the fact that they are child predators. It makes you scared to have your children around anybody other than yourself. Really, who can you trust? But I mean, between his wife leaving him, Subway dropping him, he now has to register as a sex offender. He'll be considered a pedophile for the rest of his life. He has ruined his whole life, his whole being. He had took the steps to go forward, lose the weight. He got noticed, got picked up by Subway, was on the high point of his life. Going, started a foundation, going, and somehow, I'm not going to say it was his friend or his business partner that put him onto this. We don't know if Jared liked little kids before he did it. Somehow down the line, I think there's probably going to be a book that comes out that says that Mr. Taylor was the one that showed him the dark side. Or maybe Mr. Fogle had a dark side. We just didn't know it because we were so in awe about the fact that he was Subway's spokesperson. I am so sorry to hear this and disgusted at the same time. But it also shows you can't put it past anybody when it comes to children. Nobody is sacred. I'm sorry to hear that this has all happened. I'm sorry for the families that are going through this situation. I am sorry for them teenagers that was out there in New York City that got scooped up into prostitution, that got bad pimps and bad madams that can't get them and take them to school instead of putting them on the street and putting them to sell their behinds. I'm sad for them too. I'm Simply Melissa, and I just want to say to you guys, protect your children and have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.